I was about to.
I'm too small to get demonetized anyway.
They don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the Nerdcast. I'm your host, Talon, with my new co host, Tori, because my cat doesn't ever show up. Not that I would
Haha.
want him. I mean, I do want him, but anyway, let's get started right away. A couple weeks ago, they officially announced Persona 5 The Royal, which during the concert, which was very nice. The concert itself was good too. It had a little bit of everything. There was some flamenco dancing, which I thought it was flamingo dancing for all my life until Xander told me otherwise. But there is you haven't gotten to this part yet, but Whims of Fate remix for the flamenco dancing. That was nice. There was some jazz stuff. There was tap dancing. That was great. The lady who was tap dancing did the motion capture dancing for Futaba for the dancing games, so that was nice. And then
Short
then they
people
showed,
will rule the world.
yes, they're also adorable because they're so tiny. But anyway,
Excuse you.
excuse me. Anyway, so at the end of the day one concert, they showed Persona 5 The Royal, which I won't show the trailer here, but you should go check it out. It's very good. So I'll
You
just
sent
do
me
a.
clips in the middle of class.
I did. It was great. She's like, you should have just said, "Hey, listen, teacher, I know you're teaching, but I got something real important right here, so I'm gonna have
No,
to ask you to stop."
I was in the middle of the class. I looked at my phone and it's just going off in my bag. So I was feeling really glad that the teacher was just having the middle of a lesson was talking really loud. Because I swear everyone around me was like, what is wrong with her?
Yeah. So obviously, because of the translation and how Japanese writing works, I can't read all of it, but I'll do what I can. So essentially, they're saying 3 semesters at which I could not speak and more fulfilling student life. And obviously, Google Translate is not very good, but a new character that is the key to the depths, new strong enemies, and they say that we still don't know the real Persona 5. Ooh, so this is like the definitive version, but we have some screenshots right here. So you see, Mementos looks not completely different, but it has these wacky veins now, which is cool. And then you can
Oh,
see
that's different.
and a new sprite for Makoto. One of the things we'll take a look at later is that they're adding a whole bunch of new sprites, so that way the conversations look more fresh, which I thought is nice. But
Yeah.
Queen looking as perfect as always, and the thighs. Mmm. See, I don't like her, but I like her thighs. Twitter doesn't though. Then the Kamoshida boss battle, which I don't know if they're replacing the Shadow Anne, but they have Mishima here now, which I thought was neat because I guess Kamoshida does look at Mishima as some sort of lackey, maybe. But
Is he holding a chicken?
huh? Oh no, he's holding a volleyball. That
Oh,
is
I
absolutely
can't.
not a chicken.
It's really tiny. I can't see it, but it'd be funny if it was holding a chicken.
I think that's the opposite of a chicken. But so you see,
Imagine a chicken with a crown on it said.
I don't know if this is Eco Nishara Park. I think that's the name of it, but it's some. If it's not, then it's a new location. It's obviously a new event for the school, and since it's May 30th, we know that we meet Kasumi, the new girl, at least on May 30th. Which there's some interesting stuff later on. I don't know if it was in here or down the article, but it's interesting. I'll get to that.
She
Then
must really like the color red.
yeah, honestly, it's like a Power Ranger. How like the Red Ranger always wears red. It's great. It makes it so much easier to remember. To remember, if I cannot mumble. But
Oh,
you
oh
see,
no.
yeah, this is obviously one of the new anime cutscenes, which I think this is her awakening, judging by the sweat, in the trailer itself. But next screenshot is another new anime cutscene with new outfits for everybody. Obviously, Lady An in the Yukata. I think that's how you call it.
So
Ryuzi.
Yukata.
Yeah. Honestly, they all. Futaba looks adorable in the Yukata. I think later in one of the other articles you get to see a screenshot, but it's great. And Ryuji looking like Ryuji and Yusuke looking snazzy in that coat. Then
They
now
all look so
this one,
unique and different.
this one I'm interested in because well, Joker in the new jacket looking hot. But more importantly, it looks like Wakaba, Futaba's mom, is still alive here, which is kind of like, wait,
That's
what?
different.
Yeah, because like that would completely change her character arc.
That like would Futaba still be a part of the Phantom Thieves if her mom hadn't died?
Yeah, and also in one of the new sprites, it has Futaba wearing this beanie, which is adorable. But
Beanies
I'm
are cute.
thinking, since they don't have the date up in the corner, maybe this is a flashback of some kind in Futaba's palace. I don't know.
It'd
Because
be
no, then
strange
in one of
because
the videos,
Joker wouldn't be there.
yeah, like maybe a Shadow Futaba showing Joker or something from the past, but then in one of the other new videos, which I won't show, but you can watch them for yourself. In one of the new videos, it shows human Morgana, Mangana, sitting next to Sojiro. So I don't know.
Oh,
This is
that's different.
yeah, I have no idea. And then see, they're doing this new feature where the two teammates can do a double team. So this is Makoto and Ryuji's, which looks cool. But
Yeah. The metallics.
yeah. And then we have Pancake Senpai, Kasumi, and Joker getting some crepes. So I don't know. And I say I'm thinking since obviously, as you know, Akechi is against the Phantom Thieves, and we know
Everyone's
that
against the Phantom Thieves.
honestly, it sucks. But
It's
you know,
either everyone loves them or everyone hates them.
yeah.
There's
Um,
no in between.
you haven't even gone to the worst part yet. Trust me. It gets like
I know.
they call for public execution of us. It gets fucked up. It's
You
horrible.
say us, you're not even a Phantom Thief.
Listen, you know what I mean. But I'm thinking since Kasumi is also against the Phantom Thieves, and Akechi currently doesn't have a girl, it's like, hey, maybe we can work together. It's like, hey, I think that's a good idea. So I think she's gonna be undercover for Akechi. She's gonna be tricking us into thinking that she's one of us, but in reality, she's one of him. I don't like that. So yeah, you
You
can see
said one
here.
of him, and I immediately thought clone.
Yeah. Um, so then Kasumi Yoshizawa, that's the new character. Those thighs. A beautiful girl who enters Fusion Academy in the spring of the same year as the protagonist transfer, has achieved excellent results as a gymnastics gymnast. I don't know if that's Japan, but from junior
It
high
is
school era.
gymnastics.
Then, so you can see here, I don't know if this is going to be a new thing, but they're in the cafeteria, so maybe that'll be a new thing that they'll do where during the school time, instead of meeting in the classroom, they'll meet in the cafeteria. I think that'd be cool. But
You mean like when they meet outside in the courtyard and stuff? Now you can meet in the lunchroom?
yeah, there was sometimes back when it was small. I think when what's his name Yusuke was a part of it, and it was just the five of us. What's his name? Ryuji, Ann, and Joker would meet up in their classroom. So instead of having them meet in the
Yeah.
classroom, it'll be in the cafeteria. Which, good lord, she eats a lot.
Yusuke still can't go.
Yeah, honestly, I feel bad for him.
He still can't.
And
No,
then
you're not
the
here.
thighs again, but we can see here. I think it's one of her special attacks. She has like a sawed-off shotgun, and this is in Size Palace. So the oh, you haven't gotten to that part yet, but in the prologue, the casino area.
Yep.
So that's interesting. I don't know if she's gonna awaken there, but then we have a new character, Takudo Maruki, a new collaborator of the Phantom Thieves. That Google Translate called them the Monster Thieves. That'd be something else. A part-time school counselor who has been appointed as a part of consideration for students triggered by an incident of a certain teacher, Kamoshida,
We know.
that happened in April at Shujin Academy. Students are well received if they have good advice and accurate advice. Arcana is an advisor, lead consultant. Now, we'll see in one of the other articles that the director said since there's obviously a lot of shitty adults in Persona 5, they thought it'd be a nice change of pace to have an actual good guy, you know? So,
It's like an actual adult that's a real adult that'll be
mm,
a good adult.
And it'll also be a way to expand on Ryuji and Anne's character, because obviously they were both very affected by Kamoshida, so we'll get to learn more about them. Also, this guy's already the best because he's drinking fucking apple juice, so GG. Sandals.
Also, uh, dude's wearing a lab coat and he's a counselor.
Yes, he is
I have
everything.
some questions.
You can see this is what his counselor's room is going to look like, but all right, little sidetrack. A lot of people were upset that there was no femc, female main character, and obviously since Kasumi's design very much looks like Joker's with the red gloves and the jacket and stuff, but they'd have to not completely rewrite the story, but they'd have to change a lot if it was going to be a female main character, because that like completely changed how Kamoshida interacted with you and stuff. So I can understand
Yeah,
why they
'cause
didn't do it.
then he'd be more
Yeah,
not good.
more like, hey, instead of going after Shiho, I'm gonna go after you. The
Be
third,
like,
yeah, go on.
child.
Yeah, hey, children. Then the third semester life, which was not told in the fifth Persona game, is finally revealed, or in all five Persona games. So obviously the first semester was in April and May and stuff, and then the second was during the September area. So they're gonna be having a whole new area for the game to expand on. So probably quite a few more hours of content, which is good. And then
You've got
Human
things to look
Morgana,
forward to.
yeah, this boy
Mangana.
Mangana. I mean, it's pretty obvious. He has the yellow thing like Morgana has. He has the distinct blue eyes. He's wearing black and stuff. And from what I hear, the translations, he was referring to himself in honorifics, which is what he does in Japan in the Japanese version. And he was calling Lady On by Japanese honorifics, which is what only Morgana does. I think the
Morgana's very classy.
he is. He's very chivalry. But
Unlike your child.
honestly, so the rough translation of what he's saying here is, now me and Lady On can. So it's obviously Morgana. And then we have
Yeah.
a New Year's event, which was not in the game, so that'll be fun. And everybody's in yukatas, and look at Futaba. It's adorable, and Makoto and everybody. So it'll be fun to see what they do with this. But notice how Morgana is not here.
Yep.
Now I'm thinking there's some stuff that happens where you're gonna have to go away for a while in the game, I think for a few months. So I'm thinking instead of Joker doing it, somebody's gonna take the fall for him, and I'm thinking maybe it's Morgana since he's not here, but we'll see. Speculations.
If Morgana takes the fall for everything, I'm gonna cry.
Then student life is further enhanced by the appearance of new cities or new areas of the cities and collaborations with Dart Live, which is a Dart game. See here
Dark
we have
Souls.
yeah, what was the place called? Kichijoji, which looks pretty nice. There's a few icons I don't know. Like I don't know. This is usually for information, but excuse me. There isn't really anything like that in the original game, so that's something new. And it looks like a siren down here, so that's
Now you know
interesting.
what things are.
Yeah, and of course you have little Caroline here.
It's your Google Maps.
Yeah, added a popular spot, Kochijoji. There we go. That represents Tokyo. New and old various cultures and individuality fuse and attract young and old men and women. Then there's the Dart game with a new sprite for Ryuji. I like that for the Dart area and the pool area. It looks like they're group events, so you can kind of like have more group hangouts, which was severely lacking in the original game.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And then aquarium, so that's nice. So we had the space aquarium in the original game.
It's a fish museum.
Yeah, fish museum and space aquarium. And this is interesting. We can take the kids out of the Velvet Room. You can go to Disneyland. So I don't know. That seems interesting.
Children, we need to go to Disneyland.
Yeah. Come on, kids, we're going out. And then now in the text messages, they can send pictures, which is cool. So obviously this is the celebration from Kamoshida's palace. Which, I don't know. I hope they do a lot of this stuff in the Royal. Because I think that'd be fun. But Looks cool.
If they
Joking, needs to
send
clean his
pictures,
room.
then you can always crop them down and steal them and make them your wallpaper.
Yeah. So there you go. I'm hanging out with my friend's mom. Then there's new personas. It looks like obviously this isn't completely new. I forget the name, Bicorn, but he looks like he's been powered up some way. So I don't know what the deal with that is.
He
And
looks
the
very unhappy.
yeah, the Velvet Room is completely red now. So I don't know what's going on. And in one of the newer videos, there's like a siren going on. That's why it's red. So I don't know what the hell's going on. But
Means
looks like
very bad.
yeah, it looks like there's blood on the costume too. Prisoner outfit. That's not a costume.
Yeah. It's like it means very bad, not good.
What?
You're having a heart attack.
Mysterious Otakara that appeared in the palace. I don't know what the hell this is. This is like a skull, but it was
It's a
weird.
thing.
It is a thing. It's very Indiana Jones esque. And then it's even easier to play, and the additional elements are fulfilling. So co-op assists. I don't know what that is. Maybe you could have one of the confidants run around the city with you. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Status assist. I don't know.
Take your friends around.
Yeah. Multiplayer. It's now a live service. But daily assist, and then this isn't much else. So let me get to. There is some.
That would
I
be
think.
why Morgana wasn't there.
Yeah.
You didn't have enough friends.
So here's the stuff that was revealed yesterday. So some of the highlights. The royal part of the title was made to show their enthusiasm in making the title. The developers aren't simply adding new elements to Persona 5 Royal, but they're also improving on the game's tempo by making it easier to earn experience points and such, which is very much appreciated because it took me the entire summer worth of going to the bathhouse to raise up my charm, and that was not fun. I
No
like the game,
fun.
but that was
No
not
goo.
fun. There's too many baths.
No
But
goo.
so the play assist feature, which was just shown, is a function that'll further implement everyone's voices. It basically shows a destination while considering character perimeters and confidants, then lets you travel with the press of a button. That's interesting. The volume of the third semester in Persona 5 Royal is being prepared to go beyond expectations of those who played through the volume of Persona 4 Golden, which is another enhanced version of Persona 4. One
Mhm.
second. Kasumi adds to the perspective and flavor of the story as a character who digs deeper into the characters you already know. Thanks, a hater. Um, things are being adjusted so that it feels more natural to have her thrown into the story, as you would expect. As you advance through the game, you'll begin seeing a different side of her from what was shown in the teaser trailer. So, obviously, in the teaser trailer, she was very much against the Phantom Thieves, and I imagine we win her over with our charm. This guy's
I
774.
think a
Oh,
different idea would be if she liked the Phantom Thieves and then after seeing what was going on hated them.
yeah,
That'd be a very different point of view.
yeah, especially once this one event happens, which you haven't gotten to yet, where that's when everybody full on hates us. So it's like, hey, maybe we are the baddies. It's like the one movie, like, are we the baddies? It's like that. Kasumi is also a confidant as expected. Maruki, new confidant, is said to be exceptionally nice and exceptionally nice adult character. If the developers had to answer between yes and no on whether there are more confidants other than Kasumi and Maruki, the answer is yes, which is nice to know. So there's going to be a lot more, not a lot more, but more.
No more Mishimas.
I like Mishima. He's a loser, but he has a certain charm.
No more.
No more. While while you won't be able to use your Persona 5 save data if you're playing Persona 5 Royal, there will be some sort of bonus for having it save data, which is understandable because it looks like while it's a remake or expanded version of the original one, they look completely different. So it's understandable you won't be able to cross save, but you know.
Because
Then
it's
there's
not like it's gonna all be the same thing.
yeah, then there's gonna be 20 new songs, which is amazing because every single song in that game is amazing.
It was
And
good.
there's a mysterious new handsome male character. That one is assumed to be human Morgana. It's not assumed, he is. You'd have to be an idiot not to think that. Who has a scene in bed with the protagonist. So he's sleeping with him. Right here. He is full on sleeping with him. And Joker, he looks like, yo, what the fuck? Why is there a dude in my bed? What happened? So, yeah, that's. Then you can. Oh, wait. Anyway, there was
Take
just
a
one
picture,
screenshot.
send it to Ryuji. Do you know this dude?
Yeah. There's one. It's the two gay characters that were chasing Ryuji around.
Oh no.
Oh no. Let's not talk about that. And then Persona 5 Scrambled, which it was funny. So they revealed this on day 2 of the concert, and it was, we talked about the rumors a couple weeks ago that, I mean, the rumors were mostly wrong, but they said that it was Persona 5 Switch. Now, people have this thing where if they see an S initial in a game, they automatically assume it's for the Switch. And that's not always the case. So, when it was revealed to be a Musou game, which is basically a hack and slash game, everybody was pissed off, and it was kind of funny. Because, like, I was on the Persona 5 subreddit while it was happening, and as the trailer was showing, like, there was a little bit of silence in between, and then everybody just started freaking out. It's like, what the heck is this? It's like, I mean, to be fair, it looks kind of good, but you know,
It's
we'll just have to wait and
Scrabble.
see. Yeah, Persona 5 Scrabble. I saw this one funny comment. It was like a meme where Joker said, I need a 5-letter word for idiot, and Morgana said Ryuji, and I don't know, it made me giggle. Because, like, shit, that actually is 5 letters. But, alright, so moving on, we will be talking about Avengers Endgame, so if you haven't seen it, spoiler warning, we're gonna completely talk about everything. So, anyway,
Because I have seen it.
you have, and I have seen it too. Now,
Ooh.
before you talk about your thoughts about it, I wrote down pros and cons for me. So,
I'm
your
gonna tell
pros,
you a con.
yeah. Let me just stop you right there. I'm gonna let you finish, but let me just tell you some cons. But the pros start out positive. The final battle was amazing. It was probably the best final battle I've seen in a while until I watched Lord of the Rings, but it was very good final battle. I like the focus on Captain America. As a fan of America Man, I do like that he got a lot of focus. All the
Dumb
family
American
moments.
man.
Listen, you just need to get more Americanized.
I'm more
But
American than you will ever be.
listen, I go so far back. I go back to British. But
I go so far back, I go back to still America.
but I liked
So
all the.
excuse me.
I'll thank you very much. But I liked all the family moments, like with Ant Man and Iron Man's daughter. I think, what was the other one? Oh yeah, with Hawkeye's family too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, and then
yeah,
lack of.
yeah, and it's funny. I felt like stuff like Iron Man dying was supposed to make me emotional, which it I felt sad, but it didn't make me emotional. But when Ant Man met up with his daughter 5 years older, that actually kind of got me teary eyed. I'm
I
a
couldn't be sad during the movie because everyone was talking behind me and next to me. So
shit, that sucks, but I'm a sucker for father daughter relationships, so that got to me and Hawkeye stuff. But the
oh, so
music,
that's why you're my friend.
oh, the music was amazing. Props to Alan Silvestri. I'm glad they got him back since he was, I think, the best composer during the original MCU movies. Obviously, he did Captain America and he made the Avengers theme song, so a lot of it was really good. Like when everybody came out of the portals, that was amazing.
It was just like you really felt like everything was happening now.
Yeah, and to top that off, amazing visuals. Like the scene when they were charging at the bad guys, that looked straight up like an Alex Ross song. Like, I don't know if you know who Alex Ross is.
I've taken multiple art classes, so yeah.
Okay, so I thought that looked really cool. And honestly, that whole scene kind of made me laugh, but because like what me and my friend used to do as a kid is that we'd dump all my toys and separate them from the bad guys and the good guys and just kind of mash them together. And like I imagine in our heads it was like that scene, like, oh, it's so epic, like, it's the good guys and bad guys coming at each other, and in reality it was just us mashing toys together. But
Yeah.
I thought the costumes in this movie were the best they've ever been. So, like, Captain America's costume, I thought was the best, apart from the first Avenger. Thor's
They
costume,
really wanted to pump everything up.
yeah. Iron Man's, just everybody's.
Thor's was not good. I was unhappy.
Really?
Just Thor in general made me
Oh
unhappy.
yeah, in Endgame. Now I see Infinity War was very good Thor, but he kind of that we'll talk about that.
I'm
Actually, I forgot to list
unhappy.
that. I thought overall it was a good end to the MCU. You know, it tied up a lot of the stories, so I think it's a
It
good.
tied up a lot, but what it didn't tie up?
What it did not tie up.
Thor.
Yeah, he should have been the king of Asgard. I thought that
He
would have been a
I
fitting
don't
end.
even I thought even if he didn't end up King of Asgard, that's fine. But you
Valkyrie,
know,
Valkyrie.
Fat Thor.
Yeah. So on that note, let's talk about the cons. Fat Thor.
Biggest
Now you see,
worst one.
if it was if it was just Fat Thor in the beginning, and then like as they got more serious about the mission, he lost the weight. I thought that would have been fine. It was just a
He's
little
a
thing.
god. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, and just the
He
fact
could
that
zap the fat away. I don't know why
honestly,
he didn't.
there's like it reminds me of Shazam because they were trying to think up of a name for like a superhero name for him. Like every time they'd say his superhero name, it changed. So one of them was Sir Zaps-a-Lot, and at one point he would use his superpowers to get popularity. So obviously the movie was based in Philadelphia, so he was doing the Eye of the Tiger with the zaps, zap, 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 zap. Like that reminded me of it. But yeah, Fat Thor was not good.
Nope.
But then I don't know. He looks good with short hair, so.
You
But
could hear women and children just crying their eyes out the moment he went on
honestly,
screen.
but all the Brie
Just
Larson scenes, those sucked. Like there
hmm
was this one part in the final battle with the ship, and it's like, "Ooh, how are they gonna do that?" And then she flies through. It's like, "Oh, what a cunt!" Like I actually thought that in my head. I was like, "Oh."
I
Then
was
like,
like, you stole the kill.
yeah,
We could
it's
have
like
had someone else take it.
anybody. Thor. There you go. Thor's a badass
Thor,
again.
he does that and he zaps the fat away.
But no, this biatch did it. So, and then the scene which I am
Demonetized.
calling, honestly, like just to go for me saying something bad about Brie Larson, but so in total, the vagina hive mind, which I am calling it, which of course is the scene where all the women out of nowhere just get together and start fighting together. It's like what, like did you like
It's just that's
honestly?
how it goes. That's how we know when all of us need to collectively go to the bathroom.
It's the vagina hive mind. It's the only logical answer to that. Like
It's
it
just
makes
how that
sense.
happens.
It makes sense in the comics too because like I mean from what I heard, I mean, I'm not very deep into this, but most women do not like each other. So
That is true.
and on top of that, when you have a hero and a villain, one is good, one is evil. For the most part, they don't like each other. So in the comics nowadays, they have a female hero and a female villain meeting up, and oh, they're besties. And it's like, just shut up, just stop, get some help.
They're never gonna like each other.
They're never.
It's
And then,
so hard to get like most females into a room with each other to work together. You can
yeah,
have a group of 2 to 3 females at a time, and even then there will still be tension, but that is just to be tolerating each other. Any more
yes,
than that, and that's a recipe for disaster. No one's happy.
it's okay. She has backup. Oh,
No.
now time travel. I did not like how they used time travel because actually when they went to the first Avengers timeline, oh, what's his name? Loki disappeared. So that kind of, I mean,
Ruined everything.
yeah, and I don't know. Apparently, Loki's Disney Plus show is gonna be Doctor Who-ish. So, then here's the thing.
Loki becomes Doctor Who.
Yeah, here's
We
the thing.
talked about this last time too.
Yeah, with Spider-Man, I think he's the biggest offense of all this. Is that he was 15 in the original movies, right? So Let's say
Yeah.
he was a what do they call him? Freshman, the very first year.
Yep.
So he was a freshman in high school. Now, I have not gone to public high school. I was homeschooled, so I'm not.
I can say.
I would imagine you would be done with high school in 5 years. Is that true?
You are done in 4.
Yeah. So I understand Iron Man wanted to keep the 5 year gap so that way his daughter could still be born. Understandable. But now, here's the thing. In Far From Home, Peter Parker, all his friends, fake MJ, Ned, dumb Flash Thompson, they're all still in school. They should be out of school
That's
by now. They
yeah.
should be in college. So, like,
Like
did they all
the only one
convene?
that wouldn't, well, that would be the thing is if they were the ones that got obliterated.
Which is pretty convenient, you know? So, that's
I
just
imagine
dumb.
like at least 2 of them would be in college and just
Perfect
looking
part to
at
get rid of MJ. The
oh
fake
no.
one. You
Get rid
had a
of
chance to
Flash. We
fix it.
never have to deal with him again.
Honestly, he's not the bully that says penis Parker. He's the bully that shoves you in a locker. Anyway,
Yeah. Like
so
shoves you in a locker, picks you up and throws you in a trash can, says,
yeah.
"That's what you get, nerd. Do my
And then
homework."
let's just talk about how they absolutely ruined the timeline by killing past Nebula. Like, I mean,
Oh.
the current Nebula should cease to exist, statistically
Multiverse
speaking.
theory.
Yeah.
Multiverse theory.
And then, of course, Gamora's death was kind of pointless because now they have the past version of her, which should also change
That's
events.
what I
But
Okay, so a different thing that they had in Endgame was that once you're in the Soul Stone, you're dead for good. There's no coming back. Once you're dead for good, that means no more. So what's the likelihood that even though she changed onto the good side, she was still technically counted underneath Thanos' army because she wasn't good Gamora.
yeah, I don't
And
know.
then that caused her to be rid of everything as well. So they still have no Gamora because she was dead for good and they had to get rid of her.
Yeah, it's just when you deal
She
with
wasn't
time
true
travel.
Gamora anymore.
Yeah, like when you deal with time travel, it just messes up so much stuff that didn't need messing up. So, and then
Unless you're very clear with it, it
yeah.
gets kind of messy.
Now the final con I have is the ending for the movie, the Captain America scene where he goes back to the past.
I was happy with that.
Like, yeah, it was a feel good ending, but it didn't, in my opinion at least, it didn't make sense in Captain America's character to do that. Like, he would just completely abandon his duty for a selfish reason. Like, that's not the Captain America I know. Now,
It's not America Man. America
yeah,
Man only lives for America.
and exactly. And now he's gonna be living through the Vietnam War and the Afghan War. So you're telling me, like, he is face to face with the fact that right now, right then, he could save somebody's lives, and he's not gonna do it. He's just gonna lay back and let the other people take care of it. Like, no, that's not Captain America. So I thought that
Well,
was dumb.
he lived into the future like already. He knows what's going to happen, so I feel like he's going to see it and be like, "Okay, I know what's going to happen. Maybe I'll lead some protests. Maybe I'll be like, "Hey, it's not right to be mean to these people." And maybe he was just
That like
kind of bringing in some revolutionary stuff at the
that would
time.
ruin Captain America's character. He just becomes a protester wearing a pussy hat.
Think
Stop.
about how funny that would be.
Fucking Chris Evans
Old
becoming Captain
American
America.
man.
But and
No,
then
American man wearing a fanny pack holding a protest sign.
yeah, oh, and then
Um,
I didn't like
that should be your new figurine.
yeah, I didn't like Falcon getting the shield. Like I felt like Bucky is your lifelong best friend. Like the entire point of the second and arguably the third Captain America movie was about saving Bucky, and you're not gonna give him the shield. Like that was dumb.
It's like, nah, now I'm gonna give it to this guy that I met
Like
after.
a couple years, 2 years, but you know. So what were your thoughts?
technically longer.
Yeah.
Remember, they had that 5 year gap. They probably
Yeah.
got real close.
Well, technically, they've known him for 7 years. Stop. So, what were your thoughts on the movie?
um, I can't say that I had too many. There were a lot of people talking around me. My mom was crying the whole time next to me and kept trying to talk to me. I couldn't really get a good grasp on the movie, but I was really sad hearing I Love You 3000.
Oh yeah,
That just made me really upset. I didn't cry during the entire movie,
that was a
which
cute kid though.
that was my worst part though, was that I went into the movie thinking if I cry even just one tear, it's the best movie of all time. Didn't cry once.
Officially
So,
worst movie ever.
it's not worst movie ever. It's just it can't live up to what I was hoping for. If it
Yes.
made me cry, I would have been happy. Also, RDJ being dead makes me unhappy.
Yeah. Well, keep in
Give
mind this
me
is a
give me Iron Man cereal and we can live life.
yeah. Keep in mind this is a comic book movie, so chances are if the box office starts to really go down the drain, they'll just bring them back to life. But you know,
They'll
so
find a way.
yeah. So moving on from recent movies, let's go back to the past to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I
I
have
love Lord of the
recently.
Rings.
Now, I love it too, but I recently started watching those movies because of the topic we're going to be talking about after this, the Battle of Winterfell. But
Oh.
yeah, so
Oh, that was the thing that I watched.
yeah, and at the end of the first movie, I kind of had a bit of an epiphany a little bit. I was like, you know, I don't I don't need all this new stuff, you know? Like, yeah, I criticize it and I crap on it, but I don't need it. I don't care if the new Star Wars is bad. I have the old Star Wars and nobody's going to take that from me. If I have all these like if Hollywood just completely makes every single movie they make awful, I'll still
Sonic.
have all the good ones. Sonic, we'll get to that. But so I would rate honestly it was a steady, gradual raising. So I would rate the first movie 7 out of 10, the second one 8 out of 10, and then the third one 9 out of 10. But some of the pros. The effects that they used were timeless. Like I mean, it still looks good. The third one was made in 2003, and it still looks amazing. Like
They've really worked hard on it to make it look good, even for
yeah,
its time. And then now that it still holds up good, even though most movies back then have not aged well.
yeah, and you see, I feel like I'm really becoming an old man because I'm finding myself saying, "Oh man, they should have used practical effects. All this CGI crap looks so bad." Like it's true. I don't know how much of what they did was practical effects, but it looked like a lot of it. And looking back from the battles from Lord of the Rings and the battles from the Hobbit movies, like I like the Hobbit movies, but the battles just kind of looked fake a little bit, like CGI
Yeah,
heavy. But
riding on a stag, riding on
a
these
pig,
giant boars. And
yeah. But
like, nah. I mean, I get the riding on wolves thing. They made the, um, I forgot what
the
they're called,
wargs,
wargs. Yeah, they made that look like really detailed and cool.
yeah.
And then they get to like the stag and it's like, okay, it's not as good. They get to the boar and it's like, okay, this is definitely not good at all.
They got to the goats. But I thought the acting was very good in those movies. I think probably my least favorite one was the lady who played Arwen. But apart from that, I thought they were all great. They were perfectly cast. The battles are top notch, which the Battle of Helm's Deep, which is supposedly Battle of Winterfell, was going to be better than Helm's Deep, which it was not.
It wasn't.
That was a Helm's Deep was the perfect nighttime battle scene. No, it was night, but you could actually see everything. The
Well, it was bright too.
yeah,
Like, it was great.
it was, and then just like all the battles in Return of the King, like when the Rohirrim's rode to the rescue, and then the Oliphaunts came down. That was great. And the dead cleaning house and all of that stuff. That was amazing. And the music was great. I watched this one video recently, just about like how much of a genius Howard Shore is. Like the full Fellowship theme song. I don't think they played the full theme song again for most of the movie since the Fellowship broke. And then I'm taking a guess at this. I'm not a big music major, but I think they played the full Fellowship theme song at the end when they were all reunited. So honestly, though, it was great. It really added to the experience, just like Avengers Endgame.
they they kept real good track on, like, Avengers Endgame tried to keep track on the music. I know Lord of the Rings absolutely kept track of its music
Yeah,
because unlike you, I actually did take music classes and stuff, even though I don't know how to read sheet music.
yeah, that stuff is like gibberish. But
It doesn't make sense.
yeah, and like the music in Lord of the Rings is like it's perfectly memorable too. Like you can just play like dun, 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 and like people will know what you're talking about. Same with the Shire theme song or Sauron's theme. The dialogue, I really love the dialogue because it feels like you're reading the book. I mean, I haven't read the books myself yet, but I have them on my shelf right here. But like, it sounds like you're listening to a book, which is what I liked about the original Spider-Man Sam Raimi movies. Is that like it felt like you were watching a comic book, you know? So I wish more movies did that. But the only con I could think of was that it was kind of drawn out. Like each movie felt like you were sitting through a journey,
They
you
could
know?
have they could have actually like put all three of them into one or two movies. If they had put it into one movie, it had probably ended up
8
shorter
hour
than
movie.
Endgame. It would have been shorter than Endgame, but it would have been a long time.
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on it? All the
Uh,
movies.
Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
good. Love
Good.
Lord of the Rings. I have all movies. I bought them. I love them. I've watched all the Hobbit movies. Love them. Not as good as Lord of the Rings, though.
Yeah. I have to give
Could
credit to The
never have
Hobbit
been.
because The Hobbit is what got me into Lord of the Rings. So fair play to them. But you know, and then
You're like, well, this got me into, like, the new one got me into the old one. And I was like, no, I watched
yeah,
the old ones first because I grew up in a household where people were alive when those came out.
I think when did the first one come out? 2000, 2001?
If it,
No,
Lord of
no,
the
it must
Rings
have been
came out around
1999
then.
because the third one came out in 2003. So
Yeah, because I was alive during the third one and I watched it with my family as a little tiny baby. I don't
yeah,
remember
I was
watching it
3
my
years old
first
then.
time.
That's crazy. But so
We were children's.
yeah, going from good fantasy to shite fantasy. Let's
Excuse you, I love Game
the
of Thrones.
yeah, it's just the last season or the recent one, the Winterfell.
I mean, not every I'll say this, not everything was bad with it.
Yeah, so actually, since you're the person who actually watches the show, what are your thoughts on the latest 2 episodes since they've been very controversial?
It's just like at the moment it's just giving some different things that are like the last one that just came out. I'm not going to say anything in detail, but I was entirely upset.
Oh, I actually have
I
a
was infuriated.
I have a screenshot of the Battle of Winterfell. There you go. But obviously, the problem I had with it is that you couldn't really see anything.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
mean,
no, it was so dark and so
it
hard to see,
was,
and
and the
I
tactics,
like
like
we turned the brightness up on our TV as much as we could.
yeah, and the I think the camera, the light director, he had the fucking balls to say, "Oh, well, it's everybody else's fault. They just should have had the right TV scene." I was like, "No, go fuck yourself. Don't try and blame it on the fans. Just take the punishment and apologize." But the tactics in the battle, I thought, were dumb in my opinion. So obviously, going on something that was done well, let's base this on the Battle of Helm's Deep. They were going up against 10,000 Urukai, sorry. So they fought from the walls. They had everybody jam packed on the walls, as much areas as you can. That is what you do when you are on the defense. You fight on the walls of the castle. You do not fight on the outside where you are completely exposed.
That's
And
something that they said early on in Game of Thrones, though, is that they said that Winterfell was made to hold up multiple nights of war and still stand. It was made to be a very strong castle, made specifically for defense.
yeah,
And apparently, no one talked to Jon, Arya, or Sansa about that because that was something they were all there for the discussion with. I'm pretty sure, I'm not entirely sure. It's been a while since I've watched
wasn't there
like
also
season 1.
Yeah.
but I think it was like their dad that said it. I know that Theon said it at one point. I definitely know Theon said it. So, and Theon was there. He could have been like, "Hey, defense
Yeah. It's
walls."
just that. Hey, defense. But so and then the way they use the cavalry, that usually cavalry is used for flanking or for intimidation, as was seen in the Ride of the Rohirrim in Return of the King. You know,
And what's the Dothraki,
hmm?
which you're talking about as cavalry? The Dothraki were made to go out, like they go out first and stuff most of the time because Daenerys can always count on them. The way that her structure goes is that she loves the dragons the most. That's her last resort. Just below them are Dothraki. She loves those. Those are her people. Uh, she's their Khaleesi, and just below them are the Unsullied, her little soldier men who have no baby making.
Okay. Do they not have penises?
No.
Oh no. So sorry.
Those
But
poor boys. But because of all of that, that's something that they all have to deal with. And that's her line of how she sees her army. So it makes no sense, for one, just for her character, to send the Dothraki out first. She did that in one of the recent battles in the season just before this one. Made sense. She was going up against a larger army. She wasn't going to waste Unsullied. There was no reason for mercy. She sent Dothraki out. Dothraki murdered everyone. It's what they do.
yeah,
And
and
for her to send all of the people that she super loves into this battle, it doesn't make sense.
yeah, and especially tactically speaking, like you, since it's used for intimidation, we saw that in Return of the King with the Ride of the Rohirrim. Obviously, you see 2,000 horses coming at you, you're gonna get scared. But you're going up against zombies. Intimidation doesn't work, you know.
They're not
And
alive. They don't
yeah,
fear death.
and
They already
the
are.
I forget the proper term. They're basically catapults that they use. Those are it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a step ahead of the catapults. Those are mainly used for targets that do not move or move very slowly. So obviously they're commonly used against castles and stuff because they don't move. But if you're going up against something that can run, they can just run slightly to the right or slightly to the left, and it'll be fine.
Or how about
So
launching those things first into the dark so there's some light on
yeah,
the field that you're in?
how about you use the dragons first and just light everything on fire?
Yeah, the dragons would have done a lot more.
And then the thing that really bothered me is that you'd have the like seven zombies on a character. They seem like and then one of the other guys would save them, like stab one, and the other six are gone. And they do this like over and over again. It's just like why?
Well,
Aren't you
they did
supposed to
do
be
that
known for
over and over
killing
again.
characters?
But yeah, they are super known for killing everyone, but not in this final battle.
Kill everybody.
Uh, no, there were quite a few people that did die though, and I was like not very upset because they were none of the people I really cared for.
And then
And
go on.
the problem that I saw with that, well, it wasn't really the problem. It was actually my defense for that was that it was all going by super fast unless you were really looking hard during those moments or you just were really deciding to pick it off first time you saw it. You didn't really notice it. You were just like, "Oh my god, oh no, oh no." And then
It's
you
because you
see the
couldn't see
character
anything.
coming, you see the character coming, you see them get help and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, thank god they're safe." And you're not really thinking about the fact that there were just so many. You're just like, "Oh, okay, they have this person with them now. It's all good."
Yeah, and if you're going up against somebody who can raise the dead, why would you put all your civilians in a crypt full of dead people? Like, I
Okay,
mean,
no. They didn't know. So they didn't know that the crypt was going to be a huge problem. I think the only ones that knew that like the dead could be raised was like Sam and John and probably, well, I know Bran for sure knew. Bran is all knowing now,
oh
but
boy.
it's just kind of that's how life was. Like they let Sansa pick where they went. They were like, "Oh, crypt's safest place."
Kind of
And
makes John
also
seem a bit like a dick. Like, hey, that's not a good idea. He's like, no, no, we'll be fine. It's like, no, you don't
John
understand.
doesn't John doesn't say a whole lot ever in the series. He spoke up for himself quite a bit, and that like made him a good leader, but when he doesn't speak up, it's always to his siblings.
But
It's
now,
it's the still feeling inferior to them because he never got the Stark name, and he's like,
yeah, wasn't he outed
can't
as like
do.
the bastard son or something?
Yep, that's exactly.
But now, how do you feel about Arya killing the Night King?
I was absolutely happy with that. I wanted that from the very beginning. She's my favorite character.
Yeah, I don't
But
necessarily have a problem with it. It's just, from what I understand, there's, correct me if I'm wrong, there's essentially two main storylines. There's the Night King stuff and then the Game of Thrones political side of it, right? And
yeah,
Arya wasn't really a part of the White Walker storyline, right?
she wasn't a part of either storyline.
Yeah,
She
so,
was more of the person that was teetering on both sides. It was kind of like a, hey, I know nothing about the dead, but I'm also super strong and very talented. And then it was like, I'm not into political stuff and I know nothing about that either because I never liked it growing up and I was always the more manly female. I was better than my brother Bran at shooting arrows and being cool. My brother John decided that I was his favorite and he taught me how to use weapons.
yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily have that much of a problem with it, but I just would have liked for somebody more involved in that storyline to finish him off, but
I
I don't
would
know.
have I would have liked it better if they had had more of a tension afterwards with it, where it was no one said that Arya had killed the Night King, where it was just kind of like a secret. And
Yeah, I felt like
Arya definitely was not going to tell anyone she didn't have to. She would have told John, and then Bran knew already, so Bran would have done whatever with that
I
information.
mean,
He doesn't care.
I felt like a lot of these storylines that they're building up to should have taken a few seasons to build up to, like which is Daenerys's and John's relationship. That'd take maybe like 10. Hi.
That was last season.
Yeah, that to really I understand them wanting to fuck on the boat, but for it to be love, like that'd take a little bit to make the chemistry seem right. And then I guess now they're trying to make Daenerys seem like she's gonna be evil or something. That'd take another season. Cersei to be the main villain instead of the Night King. But I don't know.
No, Cersei's always been the main villain. Like that wasn't something that needed to be built up to. It had already had been cooking the entire time. Like
Alright,
we
but
had all this trouble with the Night King and everything. Everyone knew that was going to be a huge thing in the last season. But we also knew Cersei had been the big evil the entire time. She was causing everyone's problem. She was always the terrible person. We knew she was the worst evil. Even with Night King there, we were like, oh yeah, Night King's like really bad and but what are we gonna do
the
with Cersei?
personification of death.
Yeah.
He's just a little bad.
Just a
He's
little
not
bit.
that bad. But I don't know.
We'll
It's just
murder him off, but like we got this political stuff to deal with.
oh Morgana. Hey, come on. Let's not.
Morgana says he's
Yeah.
unhappy that you're talking to me.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just felt like there should have been a few more seasons to build some of this stuff up. Instead of having one last 6 season episode. But
Well, last season, like the entirety of last season, pretty much they had been spent up with building up John Daenerys's relationship, and as you said, you were making sense of the boat and everything, and now it being the thing. Now that they're at Winterfell and everything, and like it took 3 weeks for them to prepare for the Night King, so like the behind the scenes amount of time that's passing and what we see on screen during these past 2 seasons, past 2.5 seasons, they have been building it up. Like it's not out of
yeah.
nowhere.
But I don't know. I feel like this isn't and based on anything solid, but I feel like they're just trying to get this done so that way they can move on to their Star Wars trilogy, which I guess they're making now. But because from what I've heard, HBO wouldn't have minded it going on for a few more seasons, but I can
They don't have
understand
any
them.
more books after this.
Yeah, I felt
There's
like
like no
that's
more
kind
books
of
after this. They're not going to get any farther, and that's what was said. That's what's done. They have no more material.
yeah. Then the Starbucks cup. It's now confirmed that Westeros has Starbucks. It actually is around every corner. But I don't know. That's just like that just seemed like to me that they didn't care. Like, I mean, that had to go through at least 10 people. You know, the director, the editor, just all these people, and not one of them noticed the
A
coffee cup.
Starbucks cup.
Like, I mean, come on. How little do you have to care to not
Westeros has
see,
Starbucks.
honestly? So, anyway, let's move on
Maybe
to,
it was like sponsor. Maybe they got
yeah,
sponsored.
brought to you by
They added
Starbucks, killing
they're
characters
just
since 1998. But so let's talk a little bit about video game movies because a
Oh
specific
yay.
video game movie has been in the limelight. But so let's start off. What's your favorite video game movie? I
Uh
don't think there's ever been
favorite
a good
video
one,
game
but
movie specifically or favorite video game?
video game movie. So a movie that was based on a video game.
At this moment, none.
I mean, I feel like with them, it has to be like it's so bad it's good. But
I've never had that. I've always just thought, wow, they really didn't get anything good from the game. But Lord of the Rings was a book and also a game.
I felt like the Hitman movie wasn't all too bad.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. And then the honestly, I kind of liked the Mario movie. That was a case of it was so bad it was good.
I hated it. I hated it so much.
Understandable, but you
But
know.
that was also the thing that growing up I liked Sonic more than Mario.
Oh, oh,
So I think you can tell my disappointment with this topic you're bringing up.
yeah, the fucking Sonic movie. Now let's give them credit where credit is due.
I'm
They did.
disappointed.
They went on Twitter. The director said, "Hey, listen, we understand the design was bad. We hear you. We're gonna be fixing the design. So at least they're gonna
They
fix
need
it."
to.
Like
They
they could have,
absolutely need to.
yeah, they could have just done the typical director talk and say, "Oh, it'll make sense when you see it," which is basically them saying, "We're not changing it. Shut up."
Yeah.
So, props to them. I thought,
I'm wanting the Pokemon movie.
oh god,
You're gonna
I'm,
watch it with me.
I'm not.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
watch
have to
it.
kill me.
You're gonna watch it. You have
I
me
am
watch
not.
Digimon, you're gonna watch Pokemon.
That is different.
No, it's not.
Fucking Deadpool is Pikachu. That is different.
It's perfect.
It's not.
It's
The
great.
designs are scary. Like, honestly, the
It's
anime stuff
great.
should not. Well, I take that back because Alita was actually good, but most anime stuff should not be made into live action stuff.
I mean, you're not wrong with that, but still, you're gonna watch it. If I have to watch it, you're going to.
I'm not paying for it.
I won't force you to.
But I think if any or not comic book, if any video game movie has a chance of being good, I think it's the Metal Gear Solid one because the director has said a lot about how he's a really big fan, and I know a lot of the video games are like, "Oh, hey, I'm a big fan," and then it turns out to be crap. But I don't
Because
know.
they
I just
aren't
think,
actually real fans.
yeah, but I think Metal Gear Solid will be good. But
Hmm.
anyway, this topic probably will be quick, but Chewbacca, he is dead.
Oh, I was in the middle of class when I got a news alert because I had the same thing happen with Stanley, and I just always keep my phone on me during class, and my teachers hate me for it. But moment he died, and it got widespread everywhere. I was in the middle of class, and I had to leave class to go into the hallway, and just be like, "Chewie's dead." I
Yeah,
had like a whole thing with it, and
it sucks. But
I didn't talk about it until the day after when it went on to the news and stuff. And I come back, I have a contemporary issues class, and they were like, "No, we're gonna watch the news again, right? What's going on?" I already knew what was gonna be on there. He does everything a day late.
it says here that his cause of death was not announced, but I'd imagine it had something to do with his pain, because apparently he was constantly in pain. So, I don't know, but he was
He
74,
was,
so it's not like he died young. He lived a
yeah.
full life.
He
But,
lived a long time, and he was super tall.
yeah, it probably had something to do with it, because I remember Andre the Giant, the wrestler,
Yeah.
since he was giant, he was constantly in pain, too, so, I don't know, maybe it was something like that, but it's sad. I mean,
Oh, now you're making me concerned for all my tall friends.
yeah. No, I think, like, be concerned if they're 7.5 feet tall or something like that. Like 6 foot tall, that's relatively normal. I mean, normal for men, but.
Shut up! Don't make me angry.
But I don't know. It's sad, but so that means the only ones that are left is Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and the guy who plays Lando Calrissian, right?
Hmm.
It's crazy to think that
It's just
those movies came out like 30 to 40 years ago.
the fact that some of them were coming out when we were growing up.
Yeah, before we were conceived, before we even thought of. But I don't know, and it's sad that the past, like what they said in the Last Jedi, forget the past, kill it if you have to. Shit, Kylo Ren killed him. Kill the past. And then
Kill the past.
in episode 9, oh no, no one's ever truly gone. It's like, make up your mind, you idiots. But
No one's truly gone. I think Chewie's gone now.
yeah, oh.
There's no more.
Yeah, Leia's gone
It's
too.
sad.
But oh, that was funny. I think I talked to Chase about this yesterday, and I guess since Leia called Chewie a walking carpet, he said the walking carpet said, like, dude, that's a fucking human being. He just
Yes, I
called
was
him
there.
a walking carpet. That was
I was
awful.
there.
Okay, that was
I
bad.
remember that. I was there with you guys and I was upset.
But I don't know. It's sad to me at least what they're doing with these movies, because like it's clear to me at least that
What
they
they're
don't
doing
care.
with the movies is what's killing Chewbacca.
Yeah, like they don't care about these movies at all. Like they need somebody like Kevin Feige, who actually gives a crap about this franchise. Because it seems to me at least, and I know they're a business, they care about money.
They need more of our Empire at War series in them.
God, please no. Just at that point, just have Ultra Instinct Shaggy. He's the one who defeats Rey. It's like
the big evil wins again.
Yeah, like I'm only using 2% of my power, and then Rey says, "So am I." It's like, God, that'd be awful.
No.
That'd be bad. And then they go on how like, oh, we're gonna have this long hiatus, so that way there's no Star Wars fatigue. And then they announce the new movies are coming out starting 2021 or 22 or something. Like
that's not that far away.
Yeah, it's like I don't think you understand what being on a hiatus means. And like, I'd say one of the reasons why Episode 3 was so financially successful is that it was believed that this would be the last Star Wars movie. The prequels are done. It was over. But then they're making it like, oh, The Rise of Skywalker is the last of the Skywalker saga. It's like, oh, is this like the last movie for a while? Nope, a couple years. It's like, what's the point? There is no point.
Do I even care anymore?
Honestly, it's like I was saying before, just watch the older movies. There's nothing they can do that they can take those away from you. You always have those. So why focus on the newer crap? Like, don't think about all the remakes or the sequels or all that stuff. Just do your own thing. Be happy. I think that's a good point to end the stream on. Be happy.
No, I think I have a good point to end the stream.
What is that?
The entire time we've been talking, there's been a tick laying on my floor next to me.
Oh no. Was it
I've
a
been
human
silently
hand?
freaking out the entire time.
God, what is it?
It's a tick.
Oh.
It's sitting here waiting.
Just imagine you're looking down and you see a hand tickling your ankle.
No, it's a tick,
bad.
and it's sitting here. It's been sitting here this whole time, and I've been silently freaking out.
All right, well, I think I'm gonna end it here. So, R.I.P. Chewbacca. Everybody have a nice day. Bye-bye.